What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. I am Cynthia Conte, and I am joined today by the gift, Chordale Booker. This is a treat for me to interview you for the very first time. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. You are going to be taking on the towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora, as he takes on his first title defense here in Viva Las Vegas. Chordale Booker, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show. I love the introduction. Thank you.
Cordell, I'm going to just say this. When I spoke with Sebastian, oh God, I don't even remember when, there were names that were being thrown in, and he said Crawford, Errol Spence, just names. And then your name came up all of a sudden, and it's booked. When you got that call to be facing for a world title fight, where were you, and what was the first thing on your mind, and who did you call first?
Um, I thought it was a joke. Honestly, my manager called me, and I just kind of like, man, whatever. And he's like, "No, I'm serious. I'm serious." Like, and I'm like, "Well, why are we still on the phone?" Called him back and tell him, "Yeah, what are you calling me for?" Because this is what we all dream of as fighters. Was why we turned pro. I was home. I was just coming up. I came home from training, honestly, for a different fight. And I don't even remember who I called first, to be honest. I probably just sat there. I was kind of just sitting there hoping that I actually got chosen for the fight because we didn't know for sure if we had it or not.
Oh, so they just ask you like, are you interested? And we'll call you
Yes.
back. Oh, okay. I don't know how fights are made like that. Okay. I just thought maybe they'll call you and be like, you're booked. All right. So then so immediately you just finished training. Did you go back into the gym or just set a game plan? Did you, even if you didn't know you had the fight, were you already set that I got to get back in the gym right now?
Well, I'm always in the gym because I'm a personal trainer, so I
Hmm.
train every day anyway. I'm never not training. I may not be training this hard, but always just maintaining and being in the gym. So to be honest with you, I didn't really think too much of it because I'm like, these things happen where you get a call and then they just fall through. So I try not to get too high or get too low off of a call because it may not go my way. And I never had anything this big actually go my way. So I was just hoping it would happen, praying it would happen, but also understanding that it may not happen. And then so then when I really got a word and confirmation that this happened, I went crazy.
Uh, well, before anything, because you've had a journey, you've fought adversities, and for me that didn't know your story, and for many people that are going to be seeing you grace the stage on the biggest stage of your life, people are going to wonder, who is this Chordale Booker? And just the story alone of you, your younger age, you were going to go to jail and you were selling drugs. Let me see. You had two gun charges, narcotic charge and marijuana charge. But you were doing drugs, you were selling drugs, like that kind of a childhood. The day that you were in court, Judge White, do you think that he was possibly your guardian angel at that time?
Absolutely. That was one of the moments in my life that could have went one way, um, and it didn't. There's things like that I believe in everybody's life where you have this pivotal moment where one thing could have went wrong and it didn't, and you're here because of that, or it changes, it shapes the way you think, and
Mhm.
that's one of those cases and scenarios that I always look back on and know that my life could have went totally different, which is why I'm not afraid to take any risk when it comes to boxing because I could easily not have this.
Yes, I apologize. It was 13 years 13 years you could have gotten from Judge White. Now, when you go back, because I know you always think about where you come from, you always give thanks to God. I know you think about that time when you sit in that courtroom when you're like, oh shit, I might be going to jail for the things that I've done, all the bad things. And Judge White tells you, I saw something in you and I'm going to give you 3 years probation. Fast forward, I know that you met him in a bathroom. I watched your documentary, The Boxer. Have you ever talked to him and asked, what did you see in me at that time? Do you remember? Or did you ask him, did he remember when he actually remembered who you were?
No, I never asked him, but he's been very supportive in my life. Um, he's come to my when I accepted an award for the Connecticut Boxing Hall of Fame. I'm in the amateurs portion of it. He was there when I got the award. He's been to a few of my fights at the Barclays Center. Um, so he's very supportive of my career. But I actually never have asked him, why did you give me a chance? I think I don't ask questions like that because I also don't want to like overstep that boundary of he still is, he still currently is a judge, and I don't want
Yeah.
to cross that line or feel like I would ever ask him to do anything for me that was personal. I don't know. I still want to maintain a good relationship with him.
Maybe when he retires,
Yeah,
whenever, when he writes his book, just be like, just write in your book as an asterisk what happened actually and why.
yeah.
But I think, it's a really beautiful story because it's a story that I see when I was watching your documentary and just reading and listening to your interviews. I see it as a full-blown movie. I mean, it's one of those kinds of things. And hopefully that's in your back pocket that you'll actually do a movie just like that. Uh,
Thank you.
skip forward, you're here now. You get this call. You are going to be here in Las Vegas. You're going to be headlining against Sebastian Fundora at the Ultra Michelob Theater at Mandalay Bay, March 22nd. Sebastian Fundora is a very tall task. Literally, no pun intended. He is 6'4.5", and you're 5'9". He has 10 inches on you in reach. How do you prepare for someone that tall, that lanky, and that skilled he's going to keep you at bay and box your balls off?
I got small partners who are just as tall as him or a little bit shorter, all kinds of heights around him. So just to get comfortable with punching up that high, because that's such an awkward motion. Because I've never fought anybody that tall, but I fought my pro debut was actually against a 6'4" southpaw. So. Um, he was he was no Sebastian Fundora at all, but he, he was still 6'4". So I kind of have a little bit experience with it with fighting tall guys, but this is I love this fight honestly because nobody can say I took the easy way to get here. Given what you just said about my career, I mean my documentary, I never had the easy way to get anything, and I think it's just fitting to have my tallest task be my hardest fight as a pro.
Did you watch the Tim Tszyu fight against Fundora?
Of course, I probably watched every fight that's online of Fundora.
Now, with that fight, because everyone was like, okay, that's a really big, significant height change. And the way that it was a bloody, bloody war, did you take away something from Tim Tszyu of what he did and what you shouldn't do and what you learned about Sebastian that night watching that fight? You don't have to tell me what you learned about him,
I
but
thought Tim fought a good fight, to be honest. I thought they both fought very well. I feel like the cut played a big factor in the fight, and I know that's like annoying to say that when a guy wins and it takes kind of credit away from what he did, but I'm not trying to do that because he's a champion and he had to fight through that too. But I feel like the way the fight was going, the fight changed dramatically once Tim got the cut and he was like blocking punches, but also wiping his face and then punching. I think it was a huge distraction for him.
well, we can't wait to see you. I know that all of your friends and everyone that's going to, because we love the underdog. And when you immediately see Sebastian Fundora, he's a towering inferno, and you're looking to burn that inferno down. And everyone loves an underdog. Everyone loves a good story. Everyone
Yeah,
will love your story. One thing that I do love when fighters give back, and you have a foundation called Go the Distance Foundation. You give youths a second chance because of what you've gone through. How has that been for you personally?
that's been the best thing that I could do, honestly. My coach, Ahmed, he brought me into the gym. He allowed me to train at the gym when I didn't have any money to pay to go to the gym, and I was the head coach at a youth group, which then I didn't realize I loved like training and mentoring kids at that point. I didn't know that. But then as I started doing the job so I could work, so he could train me, I realized I fell in love with this. And so then I continued to be the head coach of the RFU boxing program, and then going on to start my own as well. And we just do collaborations to bring even more kids together into through boxing. But not it's not for me. My foundation is not only about boxing; it's about just going the distance, no matter what it is, going through disability, mental health, addiction, whatever. I'm trying to build a nice, strong team so that way we just tell people, yo, go the distance the same way you would in the 12-round fight. You want to go the distance through whatever fight you're going through in the life.
And you sat there and you got your 3 year probation. What was the aha moment for you to know that I have a second chance? I need to do better with my life and I need to do it now. Was it when you got that sentence, or was it when you were in probation, or do you remember?
Yeah, mine happened immediately. So I was already regretting it before, um, when I was going to court, just seeing like how much support I really had. Because sometimes you think like nobody care about you, and then when I went to court, I had like 50 people in court with me. And I turned around and they all were crying when they said my mandatory was 13. And the way my mom and my grandmother were really looking was painful. And then I said, you know what? No, I can't do this anymore. Like, like I'm killing them for real. Like I'm really killing them. So I'm like, man, God, let me make it out of this. I'm gonna make sure they good.
Now, going back, what would you tell your younger self after everything that you've gone through?
I would honestly, I would tell myself, I've kind of said this a few times, but it's just like if you really want something and you really, you believe, if you really believe that you can do it, like you want to be, I don't know, like something that's, it may seem crazy to other people, like you want to be a pilot or I don't know, an actor, and you know that you're really good enough and you passionate about it, go ahead and give it everything you got. But you can't just go and say, "Oh, I want to do this," but then not take all the sacrifices that it takes to get there. Meaning times where you can hang out with your friend, you working on your game and your craft to be better. If you want to be a doctor, instead of going out and drinking, at that time you could be doing some more. Uh, Reading some more books or watching some more videos on how to become better at whatever your craft is. And I sacrificed a lot. I sacrificed time, money, family events, being able to eat because I got to make weight, making sure I'm always like I did a lot to make sure I got here. So with that being said, like I just always try to make sure to the kids, like, yo, if you have to be passionate, I mean, I'm talking about you gotta undeniably have this faith that you know that you're gonna get there, and it can't be any. There can't be any like little bend. Or, you may feel that feeling of like, yo, I want to quit, but you can't. Like, yo, you gotta be like, yo, I'm strong enough where like I might feel like I want to quit, but I'm not going to. And that's when you're gonna get it. That's when you'll end up. Because I didn't, man. You know how many times I wanted to give up and I didn't. But I got here because I'm like, yo, I know I'm good enough. I know I could be world champion. And it was just something that's burning in me. That's like, if I give up, then what was all this for? And that's just what I do want kids to understand. Is like, yo, you gotta have undeniable resilience and grit about whatever it is that you want and you say that you want for your life.
Amen to all of that. My goodness. Cordell Booker, I appreciate your time. Uh, Before anything, can you tell all your fans why they should tune into March 22nd or even come get tickets to watch you fight Sebastian Fundora here in Las Vegas?
I feel like everybody should come tune in on Amazon Prime or come get tickets because this is where you find out who people really are. Like you don't know you wouldn't have known who Ali was until you fought listening. You wouldn't have known a lot of people. I mean, like you didn't know Floyd until he got his world title. Like don't just you know, count me out because you don't know who I am.
Mhm.
Just because I'm not a popular name doesn't mean I can't fight. Doesn't mean I don't have skill. Don't mean I don't have grit. And I think I'll surprise a lot of people.
We can't wait to see you in the ring. Best of luck to you guys. March 22nd, he is taking on Sebastian Fundora for 2 straps. That's a huge deal. And it's on PBC on Prime. That's even bigger. So best of luck to you, Chordale the Gift
Thank you.
Booker. And I will see you fight week.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Best Women's Boxing Show, period. I'm Cynthia Conte. See you guys at the fights. Bye, guys.